Hey everyone, thanks for checking out another video. Today I want to talk about the different levels of paint correction services that are offered at High Def Detailing. We're going to go over the differences, which one might be right for you in which scenario, so stay tuned and let's dive in. Okay, so what is paint correction? Well, essentially paint correction is removing imperfections in your vehicle's clear coat to restore the original gloss and the original clarity. And we do that by using tools such as these. These are dual action polishers, and chemicals and pads such as these. These are compounds and polishes, and these are just a couple different types of pads. It's a very time-consuming process. It does take a lot of practice and a lot of knowledge about knowing what combinations of these things you see here work. But like I said, it can give you that clarity and gloss back to your paint. So the imperfections in your paint, such as scratches and swirls, if you actually looked at the clear coat underneath the microscope, you'd see these V-shaped divots in the clear coat, okay? And those are those scratches. Because what happens is when the light reflects off of that clear coat and it's uneven, we're gonna see scratches or swirls. So when we do paint correction, we're essentially taking away a thin layer of clear coat, leveling it out. So that V that was once there, we're gonna level that out. And once we've reached that point, that scratch will be gone. The light's going to reflect off the clear coat, and we're going to see that optical clarity and the restored original finish. Now, we do have to be careful because you only have so much clear coat to work with. And more in modern clear coats on these newer vehicles, it's just getting thinner and thinner and thinner. So there's some situations where we may not be able to fully remove an imperfection just because there's not enough clear coat left to work with. And if you go past the clear coat, you get into the base coat, and that's called burning through the clear, and you definitely don't want to do that. Okay, so let's go over the three services that we offer. Starting with the most basic, we offer a paint enhancement. And what that means is that's just going to be a gloss enhancing polish of the paint. We're not going to really go after deep defects. Of course, we are going to get a few swirls and light imperfections out while we do that. But it's a quicker process. It's only going to take a couple hours. We're going to go around the vehicle one time, and it's going to restore some gloss and clarity, maybe remove some light oxidation as well. And this is included in the diamond package for my exterior and full detail packages. And there's two options for protections with that. The first option, and this is included, is that we use an all-in-one product, meaning that it's going to have your polish and your protection in that single product. The other option for a slight upcharge is we can do a dedicated protective layer after the gloss enhancement polish. So we'll use a product that enhances the gloss, and then we'll clean the surface, prep it, and put a dedicated sealant that will give you up to 6 months of protection as well. So that is an upgrade on that service. It's what I recommend. So you're going to gloss up the paint and then give it a decent level of protection. You can, of course, go up to a ceramic coating from there. And one of the most popular options is to do that paint enhancement and our 1 to 2 year coating, which is Gtechniq EXO. And that's a fantastic service if you're just getting into the ceramic coatings. You don't want to break the bank and spend over $1,000 on your vehicle doing that. It's a great option. All right, moving on from the paint enhancement, we have what's called a one-step paint correction. Now, I want to point out that this term, one step, can be confusing, especially if you're shopping around and you're looking at other detailers. They might call their paint enhancement a one-step. Okay, I mentioned in the paint enhancement that there's an all-in-one product, so we would use this product for that. This is the Rupes Uno Protect. They might call that a one-step, so you have to be careful and really know what you're getting. So make sure you clarify that with your detailer, because you'll often see a big price difference, and it's just that one detailer is using the term to mean one thing, and another detailer might be using that same term, but it's actually meaning a different service. All right, so back on track here. So our one-step correction, this is a full paint correction. We're going around the vehicle, we're gonna use different pads, different sizes of pads, different polishers, like this 3-inch polisher here. We could also put a 1-inch pad on here and get into really tight areas. So it's gonna be very thorough. We're still gonna go around the vehicle just once, okay, but we're not gonna zip around it and do it in a couple hours like the enhancement. No, this is gonna take 6, 8, maybe 8+ hours to do this depending on the vehicle size, because we're going to take our time, but we're making sure that we're getting a decent level of cut and a good level of finish, trying to do it in one step, okay? For most vehicles, this is what you're going to need before putting on a professional ceramic coating. If you have a brand new vehicle, we'll definitely do this step, even though there's not going to be that many swirls or scratches, hopefully, unless the vehicle sat on the lot for a while or it's been run through the dealership wash a bunch of times. A one-step correction is going to be perfect for prepping that vehicle for the coating. We're going to get it, like I said, every inch of the vehicle, we'll get in all those nooks and crannies, polish every aspect of the paint, and get it prepped that way. Now, moving on from a one-step correction, we have the two-step paint correction. Like the title suggests, it's 2 steps. This is going to be done for your vehicles that have more swirls and scratches because they might be a little bit older, or it could just be that it's a black vehicle and you really see all those defects and you really want to get it as close to showroom shine, showroom perfect as possible. So the first step in a 2-step paint correction is we're going to use a much heavier and aggressive product and pad combination. So we'd use a compound such as the Sonax Cut Max and a microfiber pad to go around the paint, and this will level the clear coat. It will take a little bit of the clear coat off, so we always measure the paint first to make sure we have enough clear coat to work with. But this will level it out, remove those defects, and you're going to get about 85 to 90, maybe a little bit of 90% improvement in defect removal by doing this step. Okay, it's not going to be perfection, but it's going to be a much better defect removal ratio than the one-step paint correction. So we go around the vehicle and do that first step. That first step can take up to 10 hours. It's a lot of hard work. It's moving these polishers over the paint extremely slow with more arm pressure, and it's very focused work. Okay, so after that is done, there might be a little bit of a haze left on the vehicle, depending on the paint we're working with and what combo of product and pad we ended up going with. There might be a little bit more work still to be done. So after that first step, to give you the best finish possible, we're going to go around it again with a fine finishing foam pad and a fine finishing polish, like the Sonax Perfect Finish, which has been my go-to for finishing out on paints. Okay, so going around the vehicle that second time, that's going to clear up any haze that was left from the first step and give you that amazing gloss that you'll get from a 2-step paint correction. So I'd recommend the 2-step if your paint has a lot of defects in it, if it's a black vehicle, or if you just really want the best finish, even if you don't have as many defects, a 2-step paint correction is always going to look a little bit better than a 1-step. Because when you're doing a 1-step, you're trying to get the right amount of cut and the right amount of finish all in one step. So it's going to be good at both. It's not going to be fantastic at one or the other. So if you do the 2-step paint correction, you're going to get the right amount of cut because you're doing that in one dedicated step. And then after that step's finished, we can go for the maximum amount of gloss because it's its own dedicated step. So you will get some better results with that. I highly recommend the 2-step if you're going with Gtechniq Crystal Serum Ultra. That's going to be the best combo right there. You're going to get the best gloss from the paint correction and then the best protection, slickness, and gloss from our best ceramic coating. Okay, so to sum it all up, try and make it a little bit easier to understand the 3 levels: paint enhancement, 1-step paint correction, and 2-step paint correction. All right, if you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And thanks again for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video.